So many turrets all over the place. Flash is going extremely turret heavy. Not even bothering with any turrets behind his mineral lines, knowing he can run with his medic marines inside. Gonna meanwhile scan the main, gonna spot the hive on the way for HyuN. Rather quick hive, just now getting his third base up. Flash, just by seeing that hive, probably gonna know, okay, HyuN means HyuN has a third base somewhere, so I could maybe move out and do some damage there. HyuN, at the very least, forcing Flash back a little bit, picking off some medic marines, but really wants to be careful not taking any more damage on these Mutalisks. They took a lot of damage for those turrets. Meanwhile, Flash gonna move towards the low left-hand position, does have weapons 1, stim, range, everything ready for him, so the Mutalisks are going to be forced to fly all the way back, and HyuN's going to have to fight these medic marines. He's going to want to defend this base. There's some drones coming off. That just one single drone came, and that just got picked off. HyuN really might want to use. He does have a few zerglings on the ground, so he should actually use those to attack these forces to help him a little bit. Flash going to go up the ramp. There's, oh man, one lurker egg. Oh, if HyuN had 2, that would have been so much better. He would have been able to blockade. Would actually been able to kind of box these forces in a little bit, but the lurker egg might actually go down. Most likely will. HyuN trying to defend with the lurkers. Has a sunken colony at the main. Does have another lurker morphing while Flash is focusing down the second one. So we're going to see whether there's actually more of an elaborate strategy from HyuN to put down one lurker for Flash to focus on. A lurker just barely comes up and dies instantly. Second sunken colony on the way, and a lurker there at the front. Flash still might be able to take this though, but there are some zerglings coming in the back. This is just all in all has given HyuN enough time to get some reinforcements coming in. So overall, I don't think Flash is going to be able to take the position down. Defiler Mound on the way. Thankfully, HyuN not trying to go for some weird Ultralisk strategy. Lurker going to come down. Zerglings and Mutalisks flying in, so attacks from both sides from Flash. He's going to try to micro against this. He's got to be very careful. He's getting all of his forces picked off. Zerglings and Mutalisks coming in close. Flash did get a little bit did kill some units, but didn't really get any significant damage done. It wasn't a very large part of his army, though, considering he's been producing much more, has tanks out, has his initial science, so just to be very careful not to get that killed by Scourge. But this is really going to help him against both the lurkers and the Mutalisks as soon as he gets that irradiate going. More production hatcheries being added in, and Nidus Canals. There you go. That's really what HyuN wanted at this point. Nidus Canals is going to be able to get some troops more. Going to have more maneuverability. Going to be able to get troops to the lower left hand much easier. And we're going to see whether HyuN decides to expand soon at that natural. It's going to be a bit risky, especially with Flash, with these forces very close to that base. Flash, meanwhile, adding in a second starport, so he's going to be producing science vessels off 2, and that probably means he's going to want to expand very soon. Most likely could move towards that 6 o'clock position. We're going to see in which direction he decides to expand, or whether it's going to be at the 3. Science vessels are going to come out, irradiate one of these lurkers, and the tanks, even without siege, are actually raging those lurkers. They're going to siege up, meanwhile, just start shelling them at the top. Force the lurkers back. One of the irradiated lurkers usually going to die there. More so going to be on the way, and Mutalisks flying to this location as well. This is going to be critical. If Flash manages to take this position right here and there, he does have a lot of tank support, a lot of lurkers out there for HyuN, though. We're going to see whether he's actually not going to push it right away. He's just going to burrow at the back. But I think HyuN's best bet right now would be to get some Zerglings to absorb some damage and just go for the counterattack. Does have some Zerglings coming out, but I think it would be the best shot. Run in with those Zerglings, absorb a couple of tank shots, and just try to come in as close as possible with the lurkers, because he's pushing back a little bit, trying to hold off those tanks at the sunken colonies. But I think he's actually might be getting splashed a little bit. Scans going off on those lurkers. There are Guardians! Whoa! Wow, I did not spot the Greater Spire at all. The tank goes down in seconds. Those are going to be a lurker build. Lurkers alongside Guardians. Scourge, oh, not quite close enough to pick off that science level, but 2 of the tanks already gone down. 1 irradiate. Probably going to be the speed. Yeah, wow, Guardian died in seconds. But these Guardians really going to help HyuN against these medic marines. They're going to be forced back. The tanks are going to be picked off at range. So nice little counter there from HyuN, but he really, at this point, he really needs to pick up another base. Has Defilers out there. Defiler at the low left and would have helped as well, but he didn't really need that. Doing a good job of picking up some tanks, but really, there you go. There's a Greater Spire. Did not spot that at all. Guardians came out of nowhere. Meanwhile, going to expand at the upper right. Whoa. I think Flash has spotted this because he's moving forces across the middle. I'm not quite sure whether he's going to move those. Does have weapons 2 and armor 1 on those forces, so he's in very good position overall. Is going to be expanding at that 6 o'clock. Most likely going to float off the command center. He is readying himself for that. Still keeping a decent macro going. Flash irradiating some lurkers. Knows the Defilers are out there. They might want to irradiate those as those come in. Guardians flying close to that 6. Yeah, just going in there, spotting is their command center, spotting that there's none. So they're going to fly back. Have to be very careful not to get caught in the open, because the Guardians, if they get caught in the open with no support on the ground, they're going to be overall in a very bad position. HyuN actually has some lurkers at the lower left-hand positioning themselves. I think he might be thinking of expanding there because he was forced to cancel at upper right-hand. I think he has a drone there. I think he canceled. Meanwhile, get a Defiler killed. Flash going to be able to get his third up fairly safely. I think... Okay, there you go. Going to spot the drone and pick it off. But overall, Flash going to be able to pick up his third fairly safely, and as long as he keeps that safe, he's just going to be able to continue his good old standard macro game. HyuN's still only on 3 bases, and I feel he's just gone for a little bit too much tech for him. The Greater Spire really pushing his economy to the limit at this point. So he desperately needs to get this 4th base up, needs to get that 4th gas up, because he's just invested so much, and really he does not have really a semblance of a very large army. Flash, meanwhile, has a bunch of Medic Marines, sunken science vessels, just sunken colony is going to go down in seconds. No Defire support, Flash going to push back a little bit, no tank support, there's going to be a Dark Swarm coming on top, but a lot of science vessels out there as well for Flash, so he has a lot of support. Has decent-sized army, but meanwhile, HyuN just has some Guardians, has some Zerglings, has some Workers, has some Defilers. He just has a little bit of something everywhere, but he just does not have any solid army group. While Flash meanwhile also going to expand at the upper right-hand position, so he's going to kick it into high macro mode. And he knows, the problem is that he knows he's safe to do it, simply because HyuN has spent so much on defense, he spent so much in tech, he does not have the maneuverability to go out there and try to pick off a base. The Dark Swarms are going to help him push out of his own bases to force Flash back defensively, but he's not going to be able to go out there and do some harassment. Flash is going to be able to pick up that upper right position very safely without any sort of harassment from HyuN coming in anytime soon. So he's playing an absolute beautiful game, has some Marines at a medic, I think, at that upper right-hand position to defend as well, just in case something funky happens. Guardian's going to come out of here, but oh man, the Science was just going to irradiate the crap out of these if they want to. Guardians are going to be forcing those Medic Marines back, but the Science are going to fly in. Not getting any radiates off. Medic Marines actually engaging singular Guardians. They might want to back off and just allow... Oh, okay, Science was going there, doing a nice job of irradiating the fire. He's going to get... No, not a single... 6 Scourge, I think it was. Not a single Science Vessel goes down. Flash, at this point, I think 6 or 7 Science Vessels, so he's keeping a huge count. If he wanted to, he would have been able to irradiate all those Guardians, but just saving his irradiates. Defilers, of course, a more critical target than those Guardians, actually. Because it's the Defilers that really can bring a Zerg back in the game. We did see an Ultralisk Cavern coming up, and really I think HyuN's still pushing it. Does get his Guardians irradiated finally, but I still think HyuN is seriously pushing it. He's had his 4th gas coming in just now. Going to move into some Zerglings to his upper right hand, forcing to fight up our ramp. Upper ramp, and just Medic Marines steaming up and killing those Zerglings before they can. Just beautiful position. You need to get a surround with Zerglings, even if they're upgraded. With Adrenal Glands, they just cannot do enough damage unless they're upgraded. Did see his play go off as well, but didn't really catch much at all. Dark Swarms at the very least keeping HyuN in the game, but I think soon enough, the way this game is going right now, Flash is just going to be able to hammer one of HyuN's bases. HyuN really needs to think about expanding. He can take the 9 decently safe, just Nidus it, and you're going to be in a good position. We're still running around with Zerglings. Flash, Armor 2, and Weapons 3 at this point, almost fully upgraded units, and meanwhile, see HyuN, his ground army has nothing but 1 Carapace upgrade, so they get ripped to pieces by everything Flash